Page 6. The Talmud in Shabbat 31a records 3 instances where individuals expressed the desire to convert to Judaism and who came both to Shammai and Hillel. Since each of the 3 began his inquiries with improper assumptions, one accepted to follow the written Torah, but not the oral Torah. One wanted to learn the entire Torah while standing on one foot, and one wanted to convert in order to become the high priest. Shammai turned them away, yet Hillel accepted each of them lovingly. And through his patient and wise instruction, he was able to bring them into Judaism. The Talmud relates that these 3 converts faulted Shammai's strictness and praised the kindness and humility of Hillel for having allowed them to come under the wings of the divine presence. The point of these agadic stories is that even if candidates come with mistaken ideas and improper motives, yet they should be received kindly. By teaching them lovingly, the hope is that they will indeed come to a proper understanding of Jewish traditions and will eventually develop pure motives for conversions. So, one of these examples that Hillel converted, it's the story behind that goes that Hillel recognized there was some good in this guy. So even though he was coming for the wrong reasons, he would eventually, see the beauty of the religion, and he would be here for the right reason. So the story goes that the guy that came with ulterior motives, he recognized later that he came for the wrong reason and that he was wrong for doing that. And, he became a kosher Jew. That's the story. So what if a convert's knowledge of Torah and mitzvot was seriously deficient? Could such a convert be deemed Jewish? The Talmud in Shabbat 68a rules that a person who unknowingly transgresses Shabbat laws many times is only obligated to bring 1 sin offering, rather than 1 offering for each transgression. Rab and Shmuel, the leading sages of their generation, explained that this rule refers to a child who was captured among non-Jews and a convert who was converted among the Gentiles. Since these individuals simply did not know the Shabbat laws because they had been raised or converted among non-Jews, they could not be held responsible for all their transgressions. Here we have a case of a non-Jew who became a valid convert, but who did not even know the laws of Shabbat. The Talmud never questions the Jewishness of such a convert, nor even faintly suggests that the conversion was not valid or could be retroactively annulled. As long as the convert underwent the technicalities of conversion, which obviously did not include a full knowledge of mitzvot, the convert was a full-fledged Jew. So it's a legal process, sort of like if you immigrate to a country. You're going to do what's required, and then you are legally a citizen of that country. And it doesn't really matter if you didn't know what this particular law was, or if you changed what you believed after you became a member. That doesn't really change the fact that you became a citizen of that country. It can't be undone. And we'll get into that when we get into the laws in the second part. So one Talmudic passage is frequently quoted to prove that a convert must accept every mitzvah, and that a rejection of even 1 mitzvah disqualifies him or her from being accepted as a convert. The passage is found in Berachot 30b, where it says, "Our rabbis taught, if a heathen is prepared to accept the Torah, except 1 religious law, we must not receive him." One rabbi, the son of Rabbi Judah, says, even if the exception be 1 point of the special minutia of the scribes' enactments. The passage seems to go against the previously mentioned Talmudic passages, which clearly do not require the convert to know and commit to observe every mitzvah, let alone each point of special minutia of the scribes' enactments. As a matter of fact, it specifically says, do not teach him too many of the strict laws, because you don't want him to leave the good path that he's on to return to the bad path that he was on before he came to convert. It specifically says do not teach him all the particulars, and it gives you two examples of what to teach. So neither Rambam nor the Shulchan Aruch cite this passage as authoritative halacha in regard to the conversion process. Indeed, Rambam in Hilchot Asuri Bia 14:8, chapter 14, Halacha 8, does not believe this passage is discussing a righteous proselyte at all. Rather, it is referring to a resident alien, a ger toshav, which we're going to see does not exist today. We don't have Yovel, and we're going to learn what Yovel is. But when we're not observing the Jubilee, we do not have ger toshav. You have only full converts and non-Jews. There is no quasi in-between stage. So even if we were to apply this passage to a righteous convert, although neither Rambam nor the Shulchan Aruch did so, it could still be understood in the light of the other Talmudic passages cited earlier. Rabbi Chaim Grodzinski explained, "We are supposed to inform this would-be convert of the mitzvot, as long as the candidate gives general assent to accept the mitzvot, that is sufficient. If the would-be convert specifically rejects a particular mitzvot, only then should he or she not be accepted. But in the case of one who accepts all the mitzvot, while his intention is to transgress for his own pleasure, this is not a deficiency in the law of Kabbalat HaMitzvot." Rabbi Benzion Uziel ruled, "If a convert accepts the Torah and the rewards and punishments of the commandments, but continues to behave in a way that he was accustomed before conversion, he is a sinning convert. But we do not hesitate to accept him because of this." In other words, what is required is a general statement from the convert indicating an acceptance of mitzvot. It is not incumbent upon us to probe too deeply, nor to receive a promise that each and every mitzvah will be fulfilled without exception, as long as the candidate for conversion does not make a formal declaration rejecting a particular halacha. That is sufficient as Kabbalat HaMitzvot. And we're going to see in the laws where it tells you exactly how to make a convert, what you're supposed to tell him, the procedure that he's supposed to go through. And I may have mentioned this already because several days have gone by in between each of these pages. But we're going to see that in each example, the person is converted and then he learns. On the same day that you talk to him, it specifically says you receive him immediately. And then it says the second time you talk to him, you're telling him of the mitzvot a second time while he's in the water, in the mikveh. So there was, not only does it say do not go over all the particulars, but there's no way you can teach all the 613 mitzvot plus all the halacha associated. The second time you talk to the person, they're already in the water. So not only do we have a formula that we're supposed to follow, as a precedence, and this is laying out how we're supposed to do it, but it specifically gives you these examples. So next will be page 7, and we're going to pick up on that with Rambam's rulings.